The only lady. Happy International Women's Month.
I'm so excited. Kama Kawa, Kama Dawa, Joshua Joe is my name, and I'm blessed and excited to be here today. And I believe it's going to be amazing. More about me you can get at Joshua Joe on Twitter, Joshua Joe Instagram, and Joshua Joe at Facebook.
Not Firebrand, and say Firebrand Nation. At Firebrand Nation, we'll get you.
Get you to put the details on.
Anyway, I am called Jane Sims. I am a firebrand. I love the Lord. Mr. Thema, kwa hizo platforms. But anyway, I am a blogger, a biochemist, waiting to graduate though. I'm a preacher of the gospel. I added lately to my portfolio, I'm a stylist. I hope to continue adding, so etc. But also for more, you can follow me at Nyoro_Sims. Okay? Yeah.
I'm laughing because introduction yako inakona wait. Nikibalance out. We can clearly see who is active in this life. What are you doing with your life?
And that's why I said, because it's too big for me to just begin saying it on this show. So just follow me on all my social media platforms and you'll get all the information. Because this show won't be enough.
Hallelujah.
Wanaume was crazy.
Tutaki
mehemehe. Hatutaki mehemehe.
Tutaki mehemehe.
Remember to like, share, and comment on all our social media platforms at JBN Television and at Firebrand Nation and Firebrand Nation Kenya on Facebook. Let's hit the main section.
Na sasa ni wakati wa meme. Alright guys. The best time.
Tunacheka 2 minutes ama 1 minute each tukisonga mbele.
Sawa. The first one goes to the COVID protection gadgets. All the way to Tanzania. Kenyans discussing Tanzanians for not wearing masks.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Hakuna social distancing.
Hakuna social distance. Alafu wana shout.
Wako maji.
This is so wrong.
But the Kenyans have been laughing at Tanzanians that they are not wearing masks.
Look at us.
But when you look at our markets and every other place, it's on a mask.
Mask ina feel kama makeup.
True.
Mask imeko huku. All right. The next meme, what role do you play at family gatherings? Too young for the adults, too old to be chilling with the kids. I just sit.
No judging.
No.
Kwanza ukiwa mtoto family gatherings na
manze.
zinachokesha. Kwanza wanaweza kudiscuss vitu
It's
deep
too
na
much.
hawajui kitu.
It is too
Ngori
much.
sana, ngori sana. So guys, what do you do at family gatherings?
Yes.
I just sit.
You just sit.
That was then though. Basa yapana. That was then. Sasa utaangaliwa.
Sasa utaangaliwa umekuwa mtu mzima.
After the next question, sasa, oh God help us, Jane. The next question to go. Ukona boyfriend? You know the funny thing is, African parents, I love them to death. When you're way younger, nisikuone na kijana. When you're way older or just getting old, where is your boyfriend? Utaolewa lini? How even supposed to do?
Actually nakwambia hivyo, even for the boys. For the boys unasikia unaambiwa
God give me Michelle's parents.
usilete wasichana kwa hii nyumba. Usilete wasichana kwa hii nyumba. Okay. That is when between 12, 15 years to around 18 years. The moment you hit 21, 22, 23, hapo ikielekea 24.
Unatuletea msichana lini?
Sikuonangi na msichana. Kwani uko sawa?
We were supposed to practice skills wapi? When you were supposed to practice these skills. Uliambiwa nisikuone. Alafu magically.
Me, I'm still regarded as a child.
Please to
I'll
all.
never ask those questions. At your boyfriend, they're very comfortable with me not telling them or me not showing signs. They're like, stay like that.
Wow.
They never bring it up.
To all African parents, tafadhali kijana ama msichana anapoendelea kuwa mkubwa, muintroduce kwa hizi vitu.
1 2 1 2.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Of course with wisdom. Very wise, please.
Kwenye curriculum.
Kukuna
Alafu
curriculum.
kubaki practical. Sasa
Yes.
kishafika 23 sana zaanza kufanya practicals.
Yes.
Aye.
To the next meme. So I was in my room and I saw a group of 10 ants just running frantically. I felt bad, so I made a small house for them out of a cardboard box. This technically makes me their landlord. In their mind.
This is an intellectual joke. Where am I?
Naona Fabra muliwa sahi.
Namona. Na kuna mtu bado hajarada hiyo joke.
Oh, must be sad.
Human ni gift.
Kuna mtu anafikiria hiyo joke bado. You're my
It's like then atasema tu tenants.
tenants. Hiyo ni
Tenants
nini?
hiyo ni ile ingine tena but it's
Please.
10 ants.
Yes.
Memes are for specific people.
Yes.
Ukiona una take more than 30 seconds kulose meme,
Si yako.
please.
But there is hope.
It's not,
There is hope.
It's not for
You start
you.
from somewhere. There is hope. There is always hope.
Yeah, there's hope. Hope Michelle. So, yeah.
Michelle can testify.
All right, to the next meme. Nikiwasha bulb ya black. Utakuwa na giza ama mwangaza ya black. Manzuri. Mami mlodi wengine pia jo.
Niombeni omoke nikulipie rehab.
Niombe niomoke nikulipie rehab. Hata mimi nataka kulipa hiyo rehab. Yaani
Kuna memes zingine kama the previous one, it was like wow, was enlightening, like wow, kuna zingine kama hii inakuchokesha. Like what? Like what? Like what?
bulb ya black. Manzuri.
Black out. What? Oh my God.
Hiyo iko poa.
And then to the last meme.
This one is insulting.
To the last meme.
This is insulting.
All beautiful girls, all the beautiful ladies. Beautiful ladies.
Yes. Not all of them are like this though. Not all of them are like
Unaona
this.
kwenye heli nimesongeshwa.
Huyo anaona
Hapo
tu
kuna nyingine imefika huko.
In exaggeration.
Sasa hii ni forehead ama hii ni?
Hii ni 6 head.
Foreheads.
Hii ni 6 head man. Like 6.
Alafu macho ni big jo.
I know. At least ungempatia kichwa at least kadogo. Forehead kubwa na macho tudogo but what? Oh, mdomo ni kadogo. Na mapua.
Manze. Lakini kuna kuangana wase kama hawa. Wanaanga wameomoka.
Pesa isafisha kila kitu.
Lakini ni kwanza hizi ni weave ama ni wig?
Depends on whatever.
Depends on whatever. Hizi vitu zimekuja zimesaidia.
Si ndio?
Zimeokolea. Mawig zimeokolea mbaya sana.
Ina depend.
Wacha mtu atoe hiyo wig. Unashangaa kwani wewe ni kipara.
Unaiona huko midfield.
Inakuanga imeanzia midfield bana. To whoever made the wings bigger, because the beauty is still there.
You help some
Without the wig.
Some.
Say, without and just an advice to all men out there, before you get married to a lady, make sure wametoa wig at least before you settle with them in the house. Unless you want to be
so that you know what you're signing up for.
Exactly. Because hiyo wig manzi usiku yutolewa. Msee unaweza toroka. So tafadhali.
Put it down in the comment section. Which was your best wig? Hands down, it's all beautiful ladies. That was my. Na pia ya rehab.
Yangu ni ya tenants.
Yeah, all tenants. Yangu ni all beautiful ladies, beautiful girls. Because nimeona wakadha wanakai. Anyway.
It's not insulting.
It's fine. Akina ni Women's Month. Mungu wangu anawaona. Mungu wangu anaona. Wewe na Hope. Mungu wangu. Shout out for Brad Hope. Mungu wangu anawaona. Mungu wangu anawaona. Hii season, we are supposed to be enlightening the women.
I know.
Exactly, that's what we are doing. We are enlightening them.
Let me just get direct to a discussion because this in itself might become a whole war. This might become this will become a war. Like this will become a discussion and might in turn into a war. So in that note, let's just get to the nini topic of the day. So even that presidential address.
I cannot. I am depressed.
I can't even. Especially for me, the timing to 8. It feels kama mini kuku.
I know.
Because by the time 7, if it's already 8.
I know. Achana 7. Kwenye kama like today you're thinking so that I can beat this traffic, and then you're looking line ya kwenye ni refu.
Exactly.
Unafaa kwanza unafaa kwa stage to around by like 4 or 5 vizuri tu ndio usinganganie mat. Like what? Me actually the thing yenye truly nisumbua hata apart from kuweka curfew is the fact that alisema on that day and then later on the spokesman come to say they are pushing it till Sunday. Do you know how many, like I was looking on Instagram and people asking like what this and this happened. A lot of people say they spent unnecessary money so that they can come back. Someone had gone on holiday with family for a ticket that they had already booked prior, but it's not viable because they had to pay a whole 65k in advance. Like a lot of like traffic in ilikuwa barabara was
Kwanza Mahio. I don't think it's so
crazy. And it's on Friday, and then you address it at what time? 4?
surely.
People are supposed to adhere to that. My problem is, and I understand taking measures, which life happens, so at times you need to take strict measures. But at least considering people, because it usually feels like a rush. Something just happens, and there's a time where matatus needed to be put seatbelts.
Yeah.
That week was crazy.
Very.
There's another time all stages are moving from Nairobi to either Muthura, depending on where you're living environment.
Yeah.
I don't understand the crisis that usually happens. And it's just like, okay, so guys, after midnight, all of you need to come inter-county lockdown.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they usually think of the consequences behind it, if people are prepared. Because it usually feels like it's working in a crash.
I don't know, but my take would be I fail to understand this government. And this is the reason. Last year, 2020, when they shut down the country, and they put the curfew and the lockdowns inter-county, do you know the same government, same leaders, same president, they unveiled the BBI, they started going, having rallies.
Right.
If there is anyone who has contributed to the spread of the virus, we are beginning with the president and the deputy president and the former prime minister, because when the BBI rallies increased and the DP began going to the rallies, and people went without even masks, and that's when the spread of COVID increased. So I really feel like now after a while, now we are coming to shut down the country. There's one person who had borrowed a loan and now maybe trying to just revamp and try to come up. But now again, they're going back to zero.
Right.
You get? Especially people, the restaurant people, such. Churches.
Transport sector.
Transport
Because
section.
especially in transport, the fares had started going back to normal.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
boom.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's the government does not have a plan. Their plan for me is they will shut down, then they will bring back the country in order, shut down again, bring it back. Because right now they have shut 5 counties, right?
Right.
So if lack of, like, I'm not saying it will continue, but let's say counties like Kakamega, Western Mombasa, it increases. Okay, and then Uku, it reduces because watashat Uku and then wafungue Uku.
Right.
What is the actual? I don't think they have the best interest in citizens or their people, because I think they would have sat down and said, okay, we have to lock down the country, but we have to check, these people are going to lose jobs, these people are going to do this.
Incentives.
Thank you, give people, anakasi pesa nyingi, because maybe we are a lot of people, but at least give people incentives that this person can be able to aishi. You know, I'm thinking someone who are taking a loan, man, the bank will not care.
It
The
doesn't
bank will
care.
come for your stuff,
Yes,
man.
okay.
This will come for your stuff.
Right.
Then it's actually, there's a saying, I don't know if I had it in Kenya or I had it somewhere, that the rich will continue to get rich, the poor will continue to get poor. So if there's a motive behind these lockdowns, I mean, please take care of people who elected you. We are not saying, we agree that yes, corona has spread. We have seen, actually this time, last year was, we just know people who have died, but we do not know them personally. These days the person who has died, I know them. We know, we have accepted this coronavirus, yes. And we are accepting that we have to put on the mask and whatever, all the measures and all these things. But like, you're making, everything now seems, there's a motive behind it, there's a plan behind it, that you people are putting this lockdown, are doing this. I mean,
Yeah,
for me, it doesn't make
it's very unfortunate. And especially, just to borrow what you said, the plan to curb this virus is not set in place. For example, the matatus right now are back to normal capacity carriage.
Definitely.
So if they are doing capacity carriage, the markets are as normal, and most of the people in the markets actually don't have the masks, and those who have their masks on, they've not been put properly. So I'm just trying to wonder, you've shut the bars, you've shut the restaurants, you've shut the church,
schools.
you've shut schools,
Right.
the universities, especially now. So these are places where people get their daily bread.
Right.
So you've shut.
It's a whole institution.
Yeah.
And it has employees.
And so that means it's the transport, the restaurants, the bars, and the church, because those are the three major affected.
Yeah, transport, right?
And I don't really think.
Yeah, because transport is still the same, because it's
actually they're
yeah, I
carrying
agree.
capacity.
Right.
Make the matatus or the transport that was going outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, those ones have
actually,
been affected.
Yeah,
Those
the
ones
ones
have
for
been
inside
affected.
the wheel.
Those ones have been affected. But now when you look, people are losing their daily bread. Yet, the spread of this virus, you will notice that if it's about increasing, it will still increase.
Yeah.
Because
Definitely.
Because actually most of the places, washing of hands and all those measures, they're not adhered to. Especially not anymore in matatus sectors, not
Right.
anymore in markets,
Yeah.
not anymore.
Actually, anywhere you go, unless you're actually going to uptown, it's not really a thing in downtown.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not. It's not. And even in uptown, maybe the buildings. One of the things that I usually say, like let's say right now, even the temperature gadgets, I feel like they don't say the truth, and especially right now when the virus doesn't, you don't have to, your temperature doesn't have to be high
Yeah.
for you maybe for people to say your temperature is high now, maybe you get isolated.
Yeah.
So your temperature is taken and you get into the building and you lower your mask or something happens and the spread of the virus will still continue. So for me, I feel like it was a good thing that the government did to contain the virus, but I feel like the people who advised the president, the bodies that advised the president, I feel like they didn't do their homework thoroughly.
At all.
Yeah, they didn't do their homework thoroughly. There's a lot of assumption that has been made, because now it has even been said. Now, between, the argument was
Right.
that between, when people come from work, that's around 5 or around 6.
Yeah.
So between that time and 10 p.m., I was saying that people are interacting, and that's when
Because they will not
the
interact
spread.
for the next 2 hours when they're all running to beat curfew.
Exactly.
Because when we had a longer time of going home to 10 p.m., if you check, most people are going home between 6, 7. When you go to the stages at about 8, 9,
Yeah.
it's 1 people.
Yeah.
But now everyone has to move because most working places close their work probably at 6 p.m. Now they have to push it either earlier or just depending on who your boss is.
Yeah.
So if it was curbing, it's not really helping.
It's not.
Because who's going to maintain social distancing in the stage?
Nobody.
Those are those
Who
things
actually
that
does?
fight for survival.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you?
Because
would
you're
you
running,
rather,
right?
Would you rather get squeezed to get into the matatu and get home early? So this is what people are thinking. Would I risk getting COVID or would I risk getting beaten by the
Caught.
police? Get caught past curfew time.
The latter.
You understand? And someone is like, let me get this COVID instead of.
Yeah.
So people fear more getting arrested than getting the virus.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's very, sorry to say, but it's very unrealistic.
Yeah.
Right. I
It's
completely agree.
It's unrealistic.
It doesn't make sense at all.
It doesn't. I think people, and the next thing that is going to happen, and you can count on this in the next few months, people are going to get tired.
We are already tired.
People are not yet tired.
We
The day
are already
people
tired.
are get, the
Do you
day
understand?
people get now, you see now, the time people will like get tired,
Uh-huh.
they'll get to the streets.
I
Right.
think I agree
But
with
still,
that.
do you understand? People are listening in Nairobi,
Yeah.
and you wake up and say, okay, let me see. So you put it in the address that all restaurants are closed. It's taken over. It started much last year. It's over 12 months, and the landlords don't really care.
Yeah.
How much it is to live in Nairobi is, I don't know how much it is, but it's quite expensive. It doesn't even make sense how people are supposed to wake up from their ashes.
Right.
Because what I feel is this thing continuously pushes people to poverty. So as you say, somebody paid 65,000. Other people had to pay double. Like
Yeah.
going to Mombasa, if you're coming from Mombasa to Nairobi, it was 21,000. And it's usually 6,000, 12,000 return. But 21,000 just to come.
Yeah.
I don't usually understand where they expect money to come from. Because I don't know about other governments, but most governments are supposed to enrich
Yeah.
the people that are serving them, so that we are able to have the cycle of money.
Right.
But how I'm feeling about Africa and now Kenya, it's continuously the little you're trying to get money, or when you're trying to become stable, they want to return us back to slavery, because you'll get to a point you have to depend on the government for everything,
Yeah.
because that's what is happening.
And actually, I feel like the government need to apologize to people. The government leaders need to apologize to the citizens and tell them that they were responsible to the spread of the virus. Because if we didn't, from the time, because citizens kept their social distance.
Especially
They
the
were
first
told to
ones.
work at home and they worked from home.
Yeah.
They were told to wash their hands and put on their mask, and that they did. But immediately our leaders began to hold the rallies, and
Yeah.
people got tired of keeping. You're telling me to work from home, and you're meeting 1,000 plus people, thousands of people without even social distancing.
And they see
And-
them without masks.
Yeah,
like,
they see them without mask, and you want me to still work from home.
I feel that the leaders we have are more interested in their legacy
Yes.
than what is going to happen to the people they are serving.
All right.
Because
And-
infrastructure is still being built.
Yeah,
But why are you building it if people don't have businesses
Yeah.
to travel on those routes?
yeah,
Why are you building it if people don't have enough money to fuel their cars?
Yeah.
yeah.
It,
Still, fuel prices are high. Just
They
to
went
put
up
it
by
out
7.
there.
Yeah,
The
the
7
taxes
shillings,
that had been
that
cut
hasn't
off, they
changed.
came back.
Yeah.
So people are being taxed just as normal
Yeah.
as usual. So it's going to. I feel like this year is going to be more harder than 2020
Right.
to the common citizen, because with the tax rates, with the hike in the price of fuel. Life is going to be hard, and people are now they're told to work from home, and
Yeah.
some of them have lost their jobs. So it's going to be much harder, and I think the government should now come in and facilitate the Mwananchi. There are those people who cannot even afford food right now. So the government should really come up with some relief that
Programs.
programs that they had last year. They need to bring them back, because we are like in a repeat mode of 2020.
Yeah.
The first curfew and lockdown announcement was done such a time last 2020, like
Right.
almost the same time. It was actually the same day. You get. So the same has repeated,
Right.
and the same thing has happened. So if someone had their job, they lost their job.
Right.
They still now. If they had gone back to work, now they're back home.
Yeah.
And the cycle continues.
Right.
So I think let the government, the same way they're telling people to stay at home, let them consider that
Right.
also. Yeah.
And also last year when they announced the curfew, whatever, at the same time they started asking for relief, started getting Sijui 1 point something, whatever, and they're saying in your chai, in your this. I mean, I agree with Joshua Joe when he says that when we get, I don't think we are tired yet. We are tired to a point of just going to social media and texting and chatting up. But once we get tired to a point that we are like, this is we are done with, we'll go to the streets. And these people, I think our government responds to, lack of better words, violence or response, protests. I think they respond to that. So once we get tired to a point that we're going to the streets and saying enough is enough, people in university saying someone has been in third year since 2019. Well, it's sad
And we just breathe in and out.
It's very sad.
People are
It
not
is.
graduating, and these people, the same ones, are at home depending on their parents. That's maybe in their head, or like, this child by this time atakuwa nje akimake money, so at least anatusaidia, but this child is still at home. School fees is still there. Ukirudi shule unaambiwa aya ongezea for this and this and this and this. I mean, all these institutions and even above and beyond that are also not being affected, they should just come together. And let's just say we are tired of this.
Right.
You either give us a solution or just acha tukae venye tulikuwa tunakaa.
Yeah.
Because right at this point there's nothing that is happening that you're helping us with at all.
Yeah.
So since you're solution givers, what would be the practical solutions for Kenyans to take?
Let us
Going to the streets.
let us protest.
For me, I'll give a solution first to the government. What the government can do is, one, try to, now we have the zoned areas,
Yeah.
because the zoned areas are the highly affected. So enforce the vaccination program to these people, so that when you open, by the time you're opening these areas, they not affect the other people when you now open the counties.
Right.
So I think that's one of the things that the government can do, and push more also to towards the whole country. Try to look on ways to just push the vaccines
Right.
to people, and by that, at least you're offering that solution.
Right.
And I know there's a program that is handling that, but if it can be now open more, especially focused on the mostly affected areas, that would really work.
You got Benji?
Yeah. I'd still stick to as Kenyans. We have to get a point that we are tired.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough, because this one will also be a sign that even in later years, when somebody comes and says, maybe in your county or in your ward, says, I am going to give you this, and they do not, you will learn how to let your voice be heard, and they will not be taking advantage of you, because they have gotten to a point, a mentality that, see, these are Kenyans, still the same thing, we give them akaka kidogo, and then watosheleke, and then we still come back. No, we have to get a point and say enough is enough. I'm not saying let there be violence, there are peaceful protests, and that is what we want, that our voice to be heard as a nation to our government, that it is their place and it is their time for them now to listen to us. And the government, when us as Kenyans do that, kindly listen to us, because it is your job and it is your duty for you to do that to us as citizens, as people who have elected you. Thank you so much.
It's sad that we are ending this at such a disturbing note, because when you think about it critically and it hits home, not even for yourself, but also because it happens to another Kenyan, it will definitely happen because the cycle continues.
Yeah.
So I feel enough is enough. And being Christianese, I'll always add, God knows what's happening, and He can always change the solution. There's always a solution in prayer.
Yeah.
I know we keep saying that that's what Christians say, but I usually feel, because when you check even in the time of Egypt, when the Israelites were in Egypt, God continuously offered solutions. So I feel it's time to shift our minds from man and actually cry to God, because he knows what's happening. He actually knows better what's happening.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the time we had. Thank you so much for joining me for Firebrand Nation News. And put it down in the comment section. What do you think about the situation in Kenya? What do you think the government should do?
Yeah.
You know, like, put down your stories, and I believe God will give us a solution as Kenyans. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember to like, share, and comment on all our social media platforms. Until next Monday, love God, love others passionately. God bless.